What up, guys? This is Cheevo Guides, back here again with another achievement guide. Today we're going to be focusing on the Gnome Sweet Gnome achievement in Powerwash Simulator. This achievement is unlocked in the temple level. It looks like a really tall house. You get access to this job about halfway through the game, and to unlock this achievement, we need to make sure that the gnome remains on the top of the tower or roof by the time you complete the job. As you can see, we have a gnome at the very top, and by the time you complete this job, this gnome still needs to be there. So technically, this achievement would require you to be very careful up there, making sure that you do not knock the gnome off of the roof, or the achievement implies that you would have to start it over again.
Huh?
So they're really putting the pressure on you to make sure you do not knock this gnome off of the roof. Luckily, there's a really easy trick. Hopefully they don't end up patching it. But if you close your game and reload the level, or go into a different level and then go back into this job, you'll find that once you reload the level, the gnome will be back where it's supposed to be on the top of the roof. Now, just in case they do patch it, I want to explain how you would technically need to get this if that method didn't work, and you would need to use your soap nozzle. So what you would need to do is change it to the soap nozzle, and you would need to use the liquid that applies to this surface right here, which is going to be wood. So you would use the wood cleaner with the soap nozzle to be able to clean around the gnome without knocking him off. Anything more powerful, if you use any other nozzles and it touches the gnome will fall. I also want to point out that if you jump on this beam that the gnome is on, that could also rattle the gnome and cause him to fall as well. So you just want to be very careful when you're around the gnome using the soap nozzle. But this is technically how you would solve it if they do end up patching it. But assuming they don't, this is how you do it the easy way. So really what you need to do is get to the end of the level, pretty much clean everything. Once your to-do list pops up with your last 3 items to clean, what you want to do is go ahead and exit the level and then load back in. You can do that by either closing the game and loading it back up, or loading up a different job and then going back into this one. After that, your gnome will be back on top, and you can finish cleaning the last few items. Just make sure that you clean all the items on the top and that those aren't your last few items, because you don't want the last item you need to clean to be right below the gnome. So maybe leave 2 or 3 items at the bottom of the house that you haven't cleaned. Save those for later for your last few items. Other than that, go ahead and clean the whole house, and again, you'll just reload the level right before the end, and you'll just clean your last few items, and the gnome will be right there back on top. After you clean your final object or surface to 100%, you'll get that successful ding sound, and once you have 100% for the level and the gnome is still up there, your achievement should pop called Gnome Sweet Home for ensuring the gnome is on the tower roof once the job is complete in the temple. And now you can finally give this gnome what it deserves. Make sure you guys stay tuned in with the channel as I'm releasing video guides for every single achievement in Powerwash Simulator. As always, I'd like to give a huge thank you to all of my Patreon subscribers. We just hit 12 patrons. I'd like to give a special shout out to everybody in the biggest fan club, including TimG84, Kegger101, Kana25, and GamerTagNation.com. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe.